Hey guys, and in this video covering the OCR A2 psychology specification, we're going to talk about the health and clinical option available on the option in applied psychology exam paper. Now, two things I will say in these videos before we start. Number one, there's more tech videos to come. At the time of recording this video, I've actually shot more tech videos, and you might have seen them by how I upload this video, because you guys wanted more tech videos, so that's what I'm getting. The second thing I would say in the health and clinical videos is that I'm not studying this in college, so I'm not getting any teaching support from college. My school chooses to do the crime and sport options, and I'm doing crime, but I've elected not to do sport in the exam. It's fun to learn about, but I've elected not to do it in the exam and do this instead. So I'm not getting any teaching support from college. I'm doing it in my own time. So what that means is that if you are using this to revise for the exam, just take it with a pinch of salt, really. In that, obviously, I hope I'm right, because of my knowledge is gonna get me through the exam, and I usually do extensive research to validate all the information that I've got in the textbooks that I've got, but it's not always possible. So just take some of this information with a pinch of salt. Anyway, with those two things out of the way, today we are going to talk about theories of health belief, and we've already we've already covered the Becker 1978 theory of health belief, the health belief model. That there are several constructs that go into a person's theory of health belief. They are factors like perceived severity, perceived susceptibility, perceived benefits of adopting a health behaviour, perceived costs of adopting a health behaviour, and then cues to action and self-efficacy, and psychological and demographic variables are kind of added on in there. The health belief model we're going to talk about today is another one you need to know for the exam, but it's a lot simpler one. It only encompasses one factor, so when we're talking about evaluations, we can say that the other one's much more holistic than this one, because all it's concerned with is locus of control. This is Rotter, Rotter, 1996, and what they did was they did a review article reviewing 6 studies, and their aim was to examine the degree to which individuals believe their health is controlled by internal and external factors. Now, let's talk about a bit of background on locus of control, because at the time of me shooting this video, I've just done a little bit on locus of control. It's not uploaded yet, and I suspect it won't be for a certain time, because I upload these videos in a random order, really try and give you a bit of variation between tech and psychology. So I don't know when you'll be saying this. I don't know when you'll be saying it before or after I just shot, but the forensic option contains the study by Gudjonson and Bounds, 2002, where they looked at how 80 offenders in serving sentences in Northern Ireland attributed their crimes on one of the ways that they categorise the attributions using the Gudgeonson blame attribution inventory. One of the ways they categorised the attributions was external factors. So attributing your behaviour to external factors that are outside of your control. So that's what locus of control is really about, and that's what spurred me on to do the CO really. After having done that one, an internal locus of control is someone who believes that they control their own behaviour and control by what they do. Someone with an external locus of control would tend to believe that their behaviour is controlled by external factors. So there's no point in them trying to control it because they won't be able to. And this research is about how the locus of control of participants affected their outcomes on various health behaviours. Now, this is in fact the study you need for the specification, and I've looked in the textbook and my resources, so this must be all you need for the exam, but it does have a large amount of information, so I'm going to supplement this with other tidbits of information that I'm going to tell you in a minute. But that's the basic premise of internal versus external locus of control. Locus just meaning place. So they did a review article, and their aim was to examine the degree by which individuals believe their health is controlled by internal or external factors. So that's your internal locus control participants and your external locus control participants. So they did a review article reviewing six pieces of research. From that, they extrapolated some general points. Excuse me while I get my notes. So it says here, this is literally to the extent of what it says. In the review, participants with internal locus of control were more able to show behaviours that would enable them to cope with a threat than those with external locus of control. So so you're more likely to control your health behaviour and be successful with it if you believe that you're an internal locus of control person, and your behaviours are controlled by you and not external factors. Another piece of research by James et al. 1969, and this is the one I'm really trying to track down, but I haven't managed to yet. James et al. 1969 did a study on measured people's locus of control using Rotter's measurement techniques. So this is James et al. 1965, he measured the locus of control of smokers who were giving up, and and he found that um, smokers who gave up and did not relapse had a higher level of internal locus of control than those who did relapse. So again, really simple, quite a reductionist idea. If you believe that you're in control of your own behaviours and internal locus of control, if you have a higher level of internal locus than external locus, you're more likely to be successful. And according to this, that's what James et al. Found. But James et al. Also found that however, there was for women there was no significant difference between whether you're an internal locus of control or an external locus of control when giving up smoking on the same measure. So that's sort of interesting. The generalizability of that might be low. And it also has an interesting bit here. Wollstone Kaplan, 1970, found that people with an internal locus of control survive longer after a lung transplant than people with external locus of control. So that's sort of interesting. Okay, so that's literally the extent of the information I could find on that study, but it's something you need to know. So I hope to God that is enough for the exam. So let's talk about some of the evaluation issues. Issue 1 in my mind is how do you objectively measure locus of control? Rutter did come up with a scale to measure locus of control, and I'll see if I can find that now. But you're always gonna have to ask people what their locus of control is. There's no physiological way you can measure it. So therefore, it's always going to be open to social desirability. Here we are on Wikipedia, measuring scales. Yeah, so the most common is a 23 item questionnaire, which is the forced choice scale. So for forced choice, you have to select from a series of options, and it's a 23 item questionnaire. That might also that might also be open to bias and obviously reductionism, but also bias, because if it's for forced choice, you can give participants you can only give them the choices that you want to hear from them. So there's also some bias there. So that was Rutter, 1966, who examined the effect of the locus of control on health behaviours, and it was a review of six pieces of research into locus of control. we've got James et al. As well, who Rutter actually cited, who found that men with an internal locus control stayed off smoking longer than women with than men with an external locus control, but for women the difference between the two wasn't significant. So that's locus control, a theory of health belief, Rutter, 1966. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I've got a ton more videos coming up. If I do find any more information on this, which I hope I do, because that's enough detail for the exam. Anyway, if I do find any more information on this, I might do a follow-up video or put some information in the annotations. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to visit my website address down below, tom-rogers.com, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Maybe a tech video, maybe a psychology video, I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.